き好き大好き Waifu Wednesday この気持ちも止まらない Can't stop! Big おっぱい Soft thighs ペンティショッツ Any Forever クリプトン 3D 完璧すぎるよ頭がどうにかなりそう Crazy Big おっぱい Soft thighs ペンティショッツ一番大好き
When people talk about Dance of the Vampire Bund, one name usually dominates the conversation. Mina Tepes, the queen of the vampires. She's iconic, powerful, and central to the plot. But when it comes to the title of waifu, there's a big elephant in the room that we need to address.
It's time to die! What the hell? Who are you? Wait, is that you, Princess? That's quite a transformation. I can't wait to tell the three clans that little Mina's all grown up. This is fantastic.
For me, and I know some of you feel the same way, I ultimately had to dismiss Mina. Regardless of how many hundreds of years old her backstory says she is, the animation and the narrative constantly leans into the lolly aesthetic for her base appearance. For some viewers, myself included, that's an instant deal breaker when deciding who the actual waifu of the series is. But Vampire Bund isn't a one-trick pony. The true hidden gem of this series often gets overlooked, and it's time she got her flowers.
Oh, hey, Yuki.
I have a lunch delivery for you.
Gotcha.
Did you see anything? You saw.
No, I didn't.
You liar! I know you saw.
Welcome back to Waifu Wednesday. Today, we're ignoring the queen and focusing on the true beauty, the sweet and emotional heart of the Bund. We're talking about Yuki.
Okay, you got me. I caught a quick glimpse. Sorry about that. It wasn't a bad view if it makes you feel better.
So why Yuki Saegusa? Why is she my absolute top pick for this series? First off, let's talk about the visual design. Dance of the Vampire Bund has that classic studio shaft flair, and Yuki benefits from it immensely. She's presented as a mature, gorgeous young woman with a stunning design. Now, don't get me wrong, she doesn't have the huge assets that, we usually look at, but she is the most sweetest thing you can imagine.
I don't know. I just figured that maybe you'd be a little more interested in what you saw.
What was that? You say something?
She balances elegance with a grounded sense of realism, unlike the fantastical or extreme designs of the vampires. Yuki looks like the perfect girl next door. If the girl next door happened to be exceptionally brave.
Wait, you saw us?
What truly makes Yuki the definitive waifu of this show is her heart. Yuki is the sweet, emotional anchor for the entire audience. Vampire Bund can get extremely dark, political, and frankly monstrous. Yuki represents humanity in its purest form. She is kind, fiercely loyal, and empathetic, often acting as the moral compass when things start to blur.
When I was a little girl, I always thought that falling in love would be a happy thing. I honestly believed that the love you felt for one another was all that mattered. But as I've gotten older, I've realized that's not always the case. Even now, Akira and I felt lost in the twilight, wondering if the clarity of the morning would ever come. My innocent childhood but a memory.
Now, I know some of you in the comments are thinking about the other mature option. We have to talk about Vera. Vera is a phenomenal character. She's competent, powerful, and her loyalty to the queen is inspiring. If you're looking for a waifu who can protect you and probably run a small country, Vera is a solid contender. I have a lot of respect for her. Yuki's vulnerability makes her more relatable. While Vera is armored in strength, Yuki faces horrors without supernatural powers, purely driven by her devotion and affection. It's that human touch, that emotional resonance, that makes me pick Yuki every single time. As I said at the top, Mina is disqualified for me, leaving Yuki Saegusa standing tall.
Be honest, you've never cooked before, have you?
I'll have you know, I have been in the kitchen many times.
But it's your first time cooking, right?
But that's just my take. Dance of the Vampire Bund has a diverse cast that appeals to different tastes. I want to hear from you. When you look at the series, who are you picking as your waifu? Is it Yuki? Are you in the Vera camp? Or despite my arguments, do you stand by the queen, Mina? And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to knock you if you are. People are into lolis, that's fine with me. And, she does also have an adult form with quite nice assets and nudity. Let me know who your top pick is in the comments below. For those of you who might be here just for the discussion but haven't seen the show, let me give you a quick rundown of what Dance of the Vampire Bund is actually about. The premise is gripping. It follows Princess Mina Tepes, the leader of the vampires, who finally reveals the existence of vampires to the world, using her family's immense wealth to pay off Japan's national debt. She secures a section of the coast to create a sanctuary, the Vampire Bund, or Special Administrative District. The story centers on the political fallout of this decision, the various groups trying to kill Mina, and her relationship with her werewolf protector, Akira. It's a mix of supernatural action, political intrigue, and heavy romance.
I was thinking, Akira, I know why our princesses loved us so much. Because we kept them from being all alone.
Dance of the Vampire Bund is a series that thrives in the shadows. While its surface level aesthetic can be controversial at times, those who look deeper find a complex, high-stakes narrative that redefines vampire mythology for the modern age. This isn't your sparkling, safe vampire romance. It's visual and gritty, leaning into the true nature of vampires as apex predators. It's a dense political thriller. Princess Mina Tepes isn't just a leader, she's a visionary trying to carve out a future for her species in the world that fears them. At its core, it's a beautiful, fiercely loyal, bond between Mina and Akira. It's a ride or die dynamic and grounds the supernatural chaos in genuine emotion. The character designs and art style are strikingly beautiful. The series uses its visual language to contrast the elegance of the vampire elite with the brutal reality of their world. Yes, the series has iffy moments, but let me be perfectly clear here. It's telling a story. I'm perfectly fine with that. And that doesn't mean that I have to choose my waifu based on something I'm not okay with. But the strength and plot carries it through. While the anime ends at a decent stopping point, it does leave you hungry for more, and me personally believe it does deserve a second season. It should resolve the rest of Mina's story. If you love vampires who actually feel like vampires and you want a story with actual meat on its bones, you have to check this one out. If you are a fan of shows like Blood Plus, Trinity Blood, or even Hellsing, Dance of the Vampire Bund deserves a spot on your watch list. It has that dark, moody vampire aesthetic that those shows nail, but with a more unique political layer. It's also a great recommendation if you enjoy complex world building. The politics of the human government trying to deal with the Bund is just fascinating. Of course, the vampire on vampire fights or any creatures of the night fights are absolutely fantastic. There's a truly engaging, emotional, resonant story here, largely held together by Yuki, the waifu of today. And she's truly human, truly a beautiful soul, heart, soul. I know she's not the main character, but trust me in this one. Check out the show and let me know if you agree with that. Thank you all so much for watching this Waifu Wednesday. If you enjoyed this dive, please do me a huge favor. Smash that like button. Consider subscribing to Brandon the Anime Guy, who talks about a lot of anime and games, of course. Also, don't forget where to find me live. I am the co-host of Anime 101 every Saturday. We talk about all things anime, take audience questions, and have a great time. So make sure to check out that as well. I'm Clifton 3D. Thanks again. Support your waifus, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
It's Waifu Wednesday, no turning back. Ecchi queens got me on the attack. Penny shots, flash dive, smooth as silk. Waifus around me, sweet as honey and milk. Clifton 3D, living in a dream.